In 1869, Dmitry Mendeleev developed his first periodic table. In this table, he took the known 50 elements at that time and he arranged them in order of atomic mass. He didn't use the atomic number because the atomic number was not known at that time, only the atomic mass. And then he kept the elements of similar properties in the same column or in the same group. He ended up having some gaps in his periodic table. However, when elements were later on discovered, they fitted well inside these gaps. The modern periodic table was developed in the early 20th century when the atomic number was discovered. The elements here were arranged in order of increasing atomic number. In the periodic table, we have rows, which are called the period, and we have columns, which are called the groups. The elements within the same group have the same number of the outer shell of electrons. This is why they have similar chemical properties, because the number of electrons in the outer shell govern the chemical properties of the elements. So we have the first group and the far left of the periodic table. This is group 1. All of these electrons have only one electron in their outer shell. They have similar chemical properties because all of these elements tend to lose this one electron from its outer shell to give positively charged ions. So they behave similarly and they have similar chemical properties. The second group is the group 2, and these all of the elements in group 2 in the second column, they all have 2 electrons in their outer shell. As we move on, we have group 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you can just look at where the element is, which group is it in, and then you can predict or you can know how many electrons are there in the outer electron shell. At the far right of the periodic table, this is group, you can find group 0 elements, which are called the noble gases. All of these elements have a complete outer shell of electrons or full outer shell of electrons. This is why these elements are completely non-reactive. They are inert gases because they don't tend to gain or lose electrons because they already have a stable configuration of a complete outer shell. So any element, when it gains or loses an electron, it tries to reach the full configuration or the configuration of the noble gases or the configuration that has a complete outer shell of electron, which is the most stable configuration of an atom. The periods have the different elements within the same period have the same number of electron shells. However, their properties will change along the period. We can find metals and nonmetals in the periodic table. So the most elements in general are metals, and we normally tend to find the metals at the left of the periodic table. These are the elements which have less number of electrons in their outer shell, and they tend to lose this electron to form positively charged ions. However, nonmetals can be found on the right hand side of the periodic table, especially the top one, and these ones don't tend to lose electrons and give positively charged ions. However, they either gain electrons and give negatively charged ions, or they share their electrons with others to form different types of bonds.